I get interviewed or you get interviewed?
Hey, I'm just here. You're running the show now.
Yeah, well, James Jefferson, how you doing, my friend?
What's up, Fred and the Sports Courier? Love that website.
Love the MMA Sports Expo. What brings you here today? What are you guys up to?
Well, I'll tell you what, I first met you a couple years ago, and we put this together, and it just grows and grows. We had more sports. This year, we've added a larger Kung Fu convention. We've got the MMA going. We've got North American Strongman. We got Bill Kazmaier from Metric's Strongest Man. Tony Atlas. We have pro wrestling. We actually have pro wrestling here Sunday. If you can't be here live, you can watch it live at Go Fight Live.
And talk about a certain UFC legend that's making his debut this Sunday to start off WrestleMania weekend.
Well, not only a UFC legend, but Mr. International Shoney Carter has won on almost every continent a belt of some kind. And he is going to make his debut in our wrestling ring this Sunday.
And talk about the origins of MMA and Sports Expo for people that haven't been here before. Talk about the experience. How did it all come about?
Well, years ago, many years ago, 20 years ago, I got involved in the bodybuilding world after I played some professional football. And I started doing bodybuilding shows, but not a lot of people came out. But then I started adding in some arm wrestling. And then we added in some martial arts. And then we added in some other things. And eventually just start to grow and grow and grow. And it got to a point where we needed to add one more thing. We needed to add that one more thing. And I met a great guy up in Canada. A really, really good guy. And what's that guy's name?
Jerry Chopik.
Jerry Chopik from the MMA Expo out of Canada. And Jerry, a good friend, hey, said, you got to do it this way. You got to do it a little bit differently. And Dan the Beast Severn just went by. I'm glad I have a sword. And I tell you what, he introduced me to Dan the Beast Severn.
It's not the size of the sword, but it's how you use it.
How you wield it.
Yes.
Dan the Beast Severn, UFC legend, good friend of mine.
I couldn't help myself right there. You had your sword. I don't mean to intrude by any means right now, but it's kind of like, it was just one of those things I had to do it.
Well, I feel a little uncomfortable because your sword is bigger than mine.
Well, James, I don't think we want to go there right now. Hey, now we'll keep this a family show.
It's so far away from a family show.
No, good stuff here tonight. You know, just end up getting a chance to waltz around, see some of the different vendors that are set up. They got the mixed martial arts cage fighting event that's taking place here right now. It's going to be a great weekend.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you here. I'll let him do the interview. This is his segment.
No, it's all good. We'll get you in a second, man. Just don't cut me, man. Don't come. My mom's watching this.
Cut me. I like the skull on the handle. Dan's awesome.
Now, you do have a football background. You were a college football standout at East Stroudsburg, played in the CFL. But you're also involved in mixed martial arts, obviously, MMA and Sports Expo. To you, what is the safer sport? We've seen Dana White go out on a limb say, hey, MMA is a lot safer in NFL with concussions in terms of treating fighters and everything like that. Do you agree with that?
I think a lot of it has to do with training, has to do with the fight commissions. I think with each individual state, like Nick Lambo over in New Jersey and Greg Serb over here in Pennsylvania and all the great fight commissioners out there, because it's on a local level, they can take better care of the fighters through the local fight doctors and all the officials. And I think in a way that it's true. It's a little safer than pro football because they don't have that intimacy of being over on top. Like every time there's a fight, they have to go through all their testing, their blood testing, make sure they don't have concussions, and it's a little more, I guess, meticulous would be the word to use. I mean, MMA takes care of its own.
That's great to hear. So I'll get you out of here on this. Any advice you give to the young mixed martial artists out there? I know you always ask all your fighters that, but since you interview all these fighters,
I'm going to say this. I think the most important thing is find your first true path, whether it be boxing or Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or wrestling or whatever it may be, Kung Fu, whatever it may be. Find the one thing that you're awesome at and become an expert at that. Then add the things that you're lacking, but don't forget your base. Don't forget what you're great at. Because when you watch the UFC, Strikeforce, Bellator, okay, you can definitely see what their base is, and they want to always get back to that base. You know, you watch an Eddie Alvarez, okay, he has an awesome ground game now, but it always comes back to that striking. And when you have an Eddie Alvarez who's fighting, let's say, anybody, okay, they're going to be out there thinking, okay, Eddie's ground game's getting good, but here comes his fist, and they're always going to be looking, so they let their guard down a little bit somewhere else, he slips in, it's over. And then tomorrow night, Eddie Alvarez.
Bellator 39. Looking forward to that fight.
Pretty awesome.
Well, James, where can your fans find you online?
MMASportsExpo.com.
James, thank you so much. Please don't kill me. Tell Dan not to cut me with his sword.
Dan Severn walks into our interview. How awesome is that?
That is awesome. Almost as awesome as your little mustache there.
Feel the power of the Fu Manchu.
Hulk Hogan wants his hairstyle back.
What you gonna do, brother, when the 24-inch pythons rain down on you?
Brother.
Courier.com.
Everybody was